whole where I did this whole style and my hair too is already been. I'm fine. I'm fine. Excellent. You see them? You see them edges? It wasn't happening because of Trey. Trey edges. Follow me on Instagram.
Trey edge. What's up, babes? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Now's a good time to go ahead and subscribe. And of course, as promised, I wanted to bring you guys a ton of protective styles going into the spring, summer, all that good stuff. And today is no different. So starting off with freshly washed hair, I actually took a little bit of the Pattern Beauty. This was their heat protectant, which I really love. It doesn't weigh my hair down or make it super oily. And then of course, the brush attachment has been my new addiction. When it comes to blow drying my hair, I'm literally able to go throughout my entire head in about 10 minutes. And this is not just for my hair, my boyfriend's hair, which is so much longer and thicker than mine. So yeah, if you guys have not already, definitely make sure to check out my Pattern Beauty review. I did post that just a few weeks ago. And then of course, I'm going to be using the Edge Booster as just a way to kind of hold on to my hair. If you guys are not a fan of edge control, then don't use it. But I like to use it just because it helps to further sleek out the style. And obviously you don't have to use Edge Booster. It is a water-based one, so your hair will kind of, I don't want to say revert, but it's definitely going to cause a little curl, which I don't mind too much because I'm going to be using rubber bands. Of course, y'all know this is the CRISS Cross. I want to say knotless braids. Everybody did this with knotless braids. I'm going to show you a beginner-friendly way to get the job done. So much simpler, so much faster, and easier to do at home. So you guys know, whenever I do the crisscross styles, I always start with the fresh middle part, and then of course I just follow my hairline going, or not my hairline, from the top of my head across to my ear. So in that crown area, you guys will see I'm just being as precise as possible to really kind of clean up the parts. Now, if this is something where, you know, you are just not good at the parting, you guys, do not kill yourself when it comes to this. Obviously, the goal is just to protect your hair. I don't want you guys to stress out about, you know, some of these finer details, because I have been doing my hair for so many years that it's just like second nature. I can almost do this with my eyes closed. So it does take practice. I highly recommend maybe using a second mirror if you can. I've been seeing the girlies on TikTok and Instagram doing this cool little, like, I don't know, it's a cool setup. Basically, you take like an iPad or a screen, I don't know, and pretty much mirror it to what it is that you're doing. I'll have to do the setup because me trying to explain it, y'all are like, Chrissy, what you talking about? Okay, I hear you. Okay, so anywho, you guys can see I'm creating the boxes. I decided that I wanted to kind of make this simpler. I did not want to do a bunch of tiny boxes because I was just going away for the weekend. This is, I don't know if you guys got a chance to see my quick preview or reel of my Dallas trip, but yeah, so this is a style that I wore, and I just really wanted something that was going to get my hair up and out of the way without having to commit to the style for like 2 months just because it took me 8 hours to do it, right? So in this case, I know you guys are going to wonder, or already wondering, how long did this style take? Exactly 4 hours from start to finish, including the blow dry. So I was really happy about that. All of my crochet styles typically take about 2 to 4 hours, depending on how small you do the actual box area. And so this is no different. If you guys need to run this back a couple times, definitely do. But for me, all that I do is pretty much section off each box. I'll go through row by row, and then of course I'll just split it into 2. And some of the areas where I knew my hair was a little bit thicker, you guys will kind of see when I get to the next section. I decided that I wanted to do maybe 3 parts going back instead of just the 2 that I did on the sides. And then of course I kind of just use a twist to connect everything. And you guys always want to make sure that the second, third, fourth, so on and so forth, each row has like a rubber band, and then you'll go ahead and connect it. You don't want to try to do both at the same time. I've done that before, and just depending on how thick your hair is, you guys will see that it will not sit correctly. Now, I have been getting a ton of comments from, I'm assuming, the silkier girls, because you guys are like, Chrissy, I cannot get these rubber bands to stay. What are you doing? y'all, I don't know. I mean, for me, I have not really had too much trouble with the rubber bands. It could just be because of my hair texture. I have also done a rubber band like passion twist on my boyfriend's mother, and her hair was super silky, so I regretted it instantly. Those rubber bands were slipping, okay? So if you do have a silkier texture, you might want to do maybe flat twists across the front, or you could even do maybe like cornrows across the front. I think that would be cute. I'm gonna do a style just for you guys. Although that's not my hair texture, I'll still do it just to give you guys an option, because I don't want you to feel like limited to the rubber bands, because y'all, the options are endless. All right, so you guys can see as I got closer to like the top, I decided I wanted to kind of just like do the boxes first and connect later. So you guys see that's what I kind of did on the next row over, and all that I'm doing is crisscrossing them. If you want to get fancy and connect the far left to the far right, hey baby girl, do your thing, okay? This is totally just a reference, something to kind of get the creative juices flowing. I've seen this all over Pinterest, which I don't know why I don't post there, but apparently you guys post me there, so I appreciate that. Same for TikTok. I call myself being on there, and then like y'all are now telling me that it's about to be banned. I'm like, hey, is Instagram and YouTube the holy grail for me at this point? I don't know. Y'all let me know how you feel about it. But anywho, I absolutely enjoyed this style. Super low maintenance. I know you guys are usually like, Chrissy, how long does it last? I ended up keeping this in for 3 weeks, which is so crazy because I only intended on having it in, like I said, for the weekend. And you guys, it totally lasted. By the time I took this out, my hair was more so like, I think built up from just like me consistently spraying like a little bit of oil to kind of shine it or create a little shine, and then the edge control on my edges. So I kind of had a little buildup. That was really why I took it out. Of course, your natural hair is going to grow, so the rubber bands will start to kind of lift just a small bit, just because you're getting that new growth that's going to come in. But you guys can see, I mean, just from here, it's super easy to do. If you're in a situation where you're like, I really want this to last a little bit longer, you could absolutely just redo the front. I don't see like the trouble in that at all. Now, if you guys are not, you know, one of those people that want to do the baby hair, because I know a lot of my followers are not babies, which I appreciate y'all. But you can totally skip that step. Just swoop everything back and get it out of the way. You do not have to do the curved, you know, little edges and all that, as I like to call them, the broken off pieces, because baby, y'all know these is not baby hairs at this point. All right, so I had a good little time doing this. Y'all will see babe in the back, y'all acting like he taking credit for the style, but hey, it is what it is. Okay, definitely enjoyed this process. I don't know what it is about doing my hair that's just super therapeutic. You guys may or may not know, but I struggled a lot in high school when it came to just like figuring out what to do with my hair. So much so that a A student, okay, became a B student because I was that like obsessed with not having my hair done, not feeling like I'm looking the part. Like I was skipping a whole lot of school in about 12th grade. Now, granted, I had finished pretty much all of my courses by then, just because, like I said, I was pretty like into school, very, you know, academic focus, absolutely obsessed. But something like that really held me back. And I feel like that's like one of my biggest inspiration when it comes to the reason that I do this. Like, obviously, YouTube is not just a hobby. It has become a full career, which I appreciate. But this really started just out of my real insecurities, like not really knowing what to do with my hair, not really seeing it on the internet, not knowing which way, you know, just like, what do I do? I didn't have a lot of money. My mother didn't. I had started work at about 16, y'all. It's a story time, okay? I would love to share that with you guys one day, but if you are ever feeling just like down about your hair, or you feel like you can't do it, or, you know, this is the inspiration to try, okay? It does not have to be perfect, but this is just my breath of fresh air, you know, because it is really, really expensive. I know that the price of everything is going up, so if I can help in any way, these videos are my dedication to you guys. So sidebar, okay, I'm sorry that I just got so deep so quick, but hey, I just had to tell y'all, I love y'all, I appreciate y'all, and I will continue to do these videos as long as y'all keep watching it, okay? Now, finishing this up, I would say that probably the first half of my hair may have taken, I want to say about an hour, start to finish. From like this point of the video, we're about 9 to 10 minutes in. Definitely took me about an hour to do this. not too shabby, not at all. All right, so we're gonna go in with that super jumbo braid. Now, if you are a true supporter and have been here for quite some time, y'all remember this, because this is one of my viral video moments. All right, the box braid. So I did these box braids using this hair a few years ago, meaning like 6 to almost 7 years ago, and it blew up simply because I showed you how to get the look for less at home, and also showed you just a very beginner way to install this. So you guys got a quick glimpse. I'm a visual learner, so sometimes I won't talk at the exact times that, like, you know, of what it is that I'm doing. So play it back if you have to, okay? And so, yeah, you guys saw that I thought the hair was just a little bit too long. I am 5'2". I did not like how long it was. It was going to end up coming way past my butt. I want to be able to sit down, wipe without having okay, we ain't got to talk about it. So anyway, I did go ahead and just pretty much trim that up, and then you guys will see I kind of like stretched the hair to create more of a pointed tip. That way the ends are not super blunt or anything. Now, I did not do a very great job of showing you how to properly stretch the hair. So if you need to see that, comment below and I will actually just post like a short showing you how to stretch braiding hair. Not too much of a big deal, but you guys see I did use the mirror just to act as a guide to pre-part my hair. So you guys will see I'm doing the parts probably about I want to say 1.5 to 2 inches wide or long, I don't know, but yeah, I'm doing that just because I wanted to kind of be consistent with how large the parts were for the actual crisscross. So we want to make sure that everything's going to be about the same. Like I said, try not to obsess about the parting. Obviously it is somewhat of a big deal, but if you are not like super good at these precise parts, instead of them being like diagonal and some of them smaller and bigger, I would highly recommend you literally using like the scoop method. When I say the scoop method, that is literally you taking the comb, scooping out a section of hair, and just continuing to braid. It kind of will look like, I don't know, not circle parts, but like, I don't know how to explain it. Basically, you just literally scoop out some hair. Scoop out some hair. I'm saying it twice as if y'all didn't get it the first time. I will do a video, or actually, I'm going to just post a link to a video where I did the scoop parts. They were on, I believe, Passion Twist, if I'm not mistaken, and I did a box braid one where I literally just parted wherever I saw fit, and my only goal was to keep the hair that I was grabbing about the same size each time. So about the coin, you know, about the size of like a quarter or something like that. Just for those girls that struggle with the parting, because I get it all the time, like, Chrissy, how do you do this? Sis, I don't know. I don't even know. It's just a gift, all right? So you guys can see now that I have everything parted out, I've already pretty much got my hair laid down with that edge control. I'm using my hair as a third leg. Well, Chrissy, what if my hair is too short? You guys will get a chance in probably about the next 5 minutes or 3 minutes get to see how I use a crochet method to actually braid the area where the crisscross is. So you guys will kind of see that. I would recommend doing the exact same thing if your hair is too short. You would go ahead and put your hair in a small little rubber band, okay? So the same way you would use this box method to get the job done, but that's for another video. For this one, of course, if you do have a little bit of hair, you should be able to just scoop this around, use your hair as the third leg, and then of course continue to braid down. I do make it an effort or make it a point to blend my hair as I go down the braid. Meaning you guys will see where I'll kind of like split my hair a little bit, add a little bit of the braiding hair, split my hair a little bit, add a little bit of the braiding hair. So this is not a super like difficult thing, but if you are like a brand new beginner, you are going to want to watch this a couple times. You may even want to refer back to my original box braid video, but you guys, I kind of slow it down right here just for you guys to be able to see just a little bit better of what it is that I mean. I'm keeping my pressure extremely tight, keeping everything the same, doing my best not to disrupt the braid because you don't want it to buckle on itself. And that's the other thing. Try not to braid so tight that it looks like it's buckling on itself. Looser would be better. Obviously not so loose that it's coming out, but you don't have to like cripple yourself. All right, you do not have to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and just finish up the back, and then of course I will be back with you guys to finish up the top of the hair. guys, so I decided to go ahead and connect that very last twist that was closer to my ear to the second row up. And then of course I'm taking a crochet needle just to go underneath that actual box. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the braiding hair and literally just loop it onto the hook. Now this was kind of difficult just because the hair was a lot thicker than what the hoop provided, or the loop provided of the crochet needle, but I managed to get it through. If you have to kind of tug a little bit, just means your rubber band is a little tight and you will still be able to slide it under. Hold on to one end of the braiding hair and then pull the other end completely through. And voila, you have the hair able to move freely with no issues at all. And then here we are at that point where we can say, all right, is my hair long enough? Can I use my hair as a third leg, or should I go ahead and kind of split this up? You guys will see what I mean. As I think on the, maybe the opposite side of my head, I do know that I kind of started to do it in a different way, where I split my hair first into 3 and then I split the braiding hair into 3 as well. So this is just one way to do it. Obviously your hair can be the third leg, and like I said, just slowly start to kind of distribute the hair. That way you maintain pretty much the same size throughout the length of the braid. You guys will see I'm kind of detangling my hair. You definitely want to make sure that the braid is smooth. So I don't remember like adding this part in, but you guys will kind of see in some clips where I will reach down, because I'm actually taking some of the edge control to use that as a way to help smooth the braid. It actually helps me move through the braiding hair a lot easier. You guys, this braiding hair will cut your hands, okay? It is super rough. So I love to consistently use the edge control, because not only does it help protect your hair, right? Obviously edge control has chemicals, but it also has oil. So what it will do is protect your hair with the braiding hair that is going to be super dry. Obviously, right? No style is like OD protective. Let's just keep it 100. But what I will say is you will get the most out of the style, and definitely keep your hair as protected as possible while having it tucked away. So that's the blessing. And as long as you're able to maintain your trims, you should be okay when it comes to hair growth and length retention and all that good stuff. So here it is. I'm pretty much just doing the same thing on this side. And you guys will see I add like a little bit of edge control to the ends of my hair, anywhere that's kind of just frizzy. The braiding hair kind of mimics my natural hair to a T, which is kind of crazy. Like my hair definitely gets kind of that wiry look, and so to sleek it down, the edge control definitely helps. But like I said, if you are one of those girls that are like, girl, I do not want to use no edge control, you don't have to. There are so many other alternatives in terms of like if you want to do a gel, if you want to do maybe a shine jam, or you know, something that's a little bit lighter and not as like super hold. But the edge booster was great for me. I felt like I don't know if you guys know, but they have 2 versions. So they have one version that is like the cap and the actual container is all one color. That's the super hold. The one that I decided to use has a black top and just a colored bottom. So that's going to be like a normal hold. It would be comparable to like a holding wax or something like that, except it's water based. So I like it a lot. And you guys can see I'm still just moving throughout the braid, and I think I did a really good job of keeping everything about the same size and consistency throughout the length of my hair. And yeah, you guys are definitely going to be the judge for this one. Let me know what you guys think about it so far, because we are almost done. And at this point, I think I had already been at about the 3-hour mark. So not too bad. The sun was still up. Okay. Now, I did come into a little dilemma here. I noticed that my braid was just sticking up crazy, okay? So I decided to take some needle and thread, okay? Your girl got real creative with this one. So I did go ahead and take some needle and thread, just go underneath my braid. And then, of course, I literally threaded this down or sewed this down to the box underneath. So you guys wouldn't have saw it, of course. I'm using black thread. My hair is pretty dark. And then the braid is actually going to be covering it. That's why I threaded it underneath, so you wouldn't see it at all. And all that I'm doing is pretty much pulling that braid to lay closer to my scalp, because it was not naturally doing that. Obviously, because it was just too thick in the placement of the braid. Like had I continued the parts a little bit further back, it may have laid a little different, but in this case it didn't. And so that was okay. I actually preferred it like this because I knew I was not going to be wearing the hair like all pulled to the front or to, you know, both sides or anything. So I wanted everything to literally be going to the back. When I say hair out of the way, that's what I mean. So I did go ahead and just kind of finish up the center part. You guys definitely take your time if you are going to be a little bit more particular on the parting, just because you really want to make it count, especially at the top, because this is where everybody's pretty much going to see. If you need some assistance, don't hesitate to ask a friend, family member, so on and so forth, or show this to your braider and say, hey, look, I want you to do this style. And obviously the parts should be immaculate if you're paying somebody. But yeah, you guys can see I go back and forth with this with the mirror just to check my work a couple of times. And obviously this video is like chopped and screwed, so if only y'all saw how long it took for me to actually get that part, y'all would be like, now Chrissy, okay. But anywho, I'm just finishing this up, and then of course I will be right back. Y'all, so we are down to the last braid, and whew, my arms are thanking me for it. First of all, y'all know I've been doing Pilates now for, I don't know, has it been 6 months, maybe 8 months? But nevertheless, it's doing what it needs to do. But there is no better workout than doing your hair, okay? I don't know what to tell y'all, but if you don't know, now you know. Put your hair in a ponytail and take it out 15 times in a day, and I promise you. Now, I really don't know if that's any accuracy, but I will say that y'all, you definitely get a workout doing your own hair. I know y'all always compliment me on like, oh girl, you have nice muscles. Like, y'all, I've been doing my hair for a long time, okay? Trying to figure this out. And I finally have gotten myself into a routine of doing the styles that I love. I know what looks good on me now. And y'all, the braided styles are my go-to, okay? I ended up actually using that needle and thread, and sewing down the braids, not just on the two on the sides, but also the one right above that as well. So definitely take your time. If you poke yourself, it shouldn't hurt too bad. I did poke myself like 3 or 4 times. But yeah, y'all be careful, all right? If you don't know how to sew, I do have a video showing you how to pretty much thread the needle and all that good stuff. So go through the playlist. I have videos that go on for time and time and time again. I'll be sure to just link everything down in the description box, some quick help, you know, in case you guys need it. But already I was in love. All right, now there's nothing that I hate worse than stiff braids. So go ahead and get yourself a pot. Obviously you don't have to use this pot. They do actually make like the boiling, you know, tea kettles and all that stuff. But anyway, went old school. I just used a regular pot with some hot water, got me a towel handy, and I went for it. So I like to do a few braids at a time, and most braiders will not get that water as close enough, in my opinion, as you need it. So anytime I get my hair braided, I go home and I re-dip my braids, because they're never dipped all the way. They're always just dipped halfway. Y'all really get into it. And if you have to, take the towel, dip it in the hot water, and literally lay it across your head. You guys will kind of see what I'm talking about. Not on your scalp, but I'm going to show you that in a second. I'm going to go ahead and just dip both sides, and then I think I just had that middle section left. But y'all, hair was looking good, all right? From all angles, looking real good. And of course, what this does is really kind of like compress the hair, relaxes it, and just provides a little bit more movement from it just being so stiff. And then of course, if there is like too much buildup, this is a great opportunity for you to kind of get some of that out of the braids. And then of course, y'all just be careful not to burn yourself. This is something where if you needed help, I definitely could have just asked, you know, obviously my boyfriend to get it done for me, but y'all know how it is. So yeah, I use a very interesting way to dip the back of my hair. This was super dangerous, but I don't know. I'm just such a risk taker. Y'all see how fast I got up, and like, come on now. That could have been like, I don't know, some really bad burns. Be careful, y'all. So anyway, this is what I was talking about. I did go ahead and pretty much just dampen the towel with that really hot water, and I'm just laying it on like a couple of the braids and kind of going through at the top just to allow the steam and that heat to kind of compress the braids at the top as well, so that everything is like molded and gelled into one, so that they are not stiff and they are moving and grooving and doing what they need to do. Because y'all, okay, I hate stiff braids. I just hate them. All right, and I find myself dipping my braids almost every 3 to 4 days. So that's how I keep my braids looking fresh. Maybe that's like a tip. I haven't done one of those in a while, but hey, anywho, I was super excited about this. Definitely let me know what you guys felt about it. I have talked for so freaking long, so I hope you guys, you know, are not too tired of hearing my voice at this point. I went ahead and finished this off with the, I believe this is a Pattern Beauty Shine Oil and a little Mazzani soft holding spray. And y'all, look at that. I love y'all so much. Stay pretty, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, babies.